So in the spirit of hearing ideas that we might always hear, tell us why you're supporting Kamala Harris.
I just like her character more than I like Trump. I don't like his. No.
Guys, give Miles an opportunity to uninterrupted to tell me, because it's fascinating. I didn't know her character was something worth.
I like that she's trying to work for the middle class. That's what I see a lot, and I think that's what she is.
So yeah, Miles. So I have a question. Mm-hmm. What has she or Joe Biden done for the middle class in the last 4 years?
No, not too sure about that.
That's okay.
What's up, amazing people of YouTube? Hope you guys are feeling good. My name is Eliru, your host as always, and tonight I'm back with an amazing video to check out with you guys. This is called Rob Schneider Educates Rude Kamala Supporter. You know the drill, guys. We talk less and we react more. Let's check this out.
My question is, when you go to these events, major Republican, conservative, is it now, do you face some bias when you're speaking, or do you believe some of the stuff that you're actually saying? Because I know you have good quotes and stuff, but I just feel like when you're in a sea full of MAGA hats and stuff, is it not hard to speak against that, or do you actually believe everything that you're saying in a way?
Yes, I do believe everything I'm saying.
Yeah, I think that's a bad faith question. I do, because your assumption is that we are insincere in our beliefs, but we're here. The only benefit that we have here to come here today is to talk to people like yourself, because we love our country and we really, really want to make sure that there are things that are happening now that we feel are potentially fundamentally disrupting what has been so great about this greatest experiment in human history, which is this unfettered free speech that the woman that you're supporting, Kamala Harris, and her running mate Walls paper. They said that the free speech, they describe it as a privilege. Now, this is either they're constitutionally ignorant or they're knowingly false, because it is a guaranteed First Amendment right for all Americans. It is not a privilege like a driver's license. When you are born in America, you have the right to speak your mind, and it isn't the nice stuff that needs protecting. It's the stuff that everybody disagrees with. It's the stuff that maybe is not nice, but that needs to be protecting too, because if someone's going to decide what free speech that you say and what I say, if it's going to be the government, they're always going to do what's best for the government. So we need to protect all speech, and I'm going to protect your right to free speech. I'm going to protect your right to vote any way that you want from the highest mountain. Always, I will do that.
So in the spirit of hearing ideas that we might always hear, tell us why you're supporting Kamala Harris.
I just like her character more than I like Trump. I don't like his. No.
Guys, give Miles an opportunity to uninterrupted to tell me, because it's fascinating. I didn't know her character was something worth.
I like that she's trying to work for the middle class. That's what I see a lot, and I think that's what she is.
So yeah, Miles. So I have a question. What has she or Joe Biden done for the middle class in the last 4 years?
I had bingo.
That's okay. So
but I'm slowly getting there.
No, that's okay.
Election day, I feel like that's okay. We can work our way up.
For sure, no, and it takes a lot of courage to come up to an event like this. So let me tell you where we're coming from, and then maybe I can convince you to trade out that hat for a MAGA hat. Just maybe, okay? That's a long shot. We'll see. So Kamala Harris is part of a tradition of career politicians that run very persuasive, sexy political advertisements that are nowhere in alignment with what they've actually done. So let's look at the issues we care about most. I imagine, Miles, you want to be able to own a home at some time?
That's my main goal. I want to own
awesome.
a home.
And good. Honestly, Miles, everybody in this audience should be able to own a home as easily as your parents were. But right now, especially here in Phoenix, it's so out of grasp. When Trump was president, the average mortgage rate in Phoenix, Arizona, mortgage payment was $700 a month. Now it's $2,000 a month here in the city of Phoenix. Said differently, it required $75,000 a year to buy a home in Phoenix when Trump was president. Now it's $135,000 a year to buy a home. You might say, well, Charlie, how is that Biden and Kamala Harris's fault? They decided to spend $6 to $7 trillion of unnecessary government spending right out of the gate that increased asset prices. Additionally, they allowed 10 million people into the country that we didn't account for. That also increases the demand for housing, especially here in this state. So we really care about the ability for you to be able to own the home. And if Kamala Harris is going to do it, she would have done it these last 4 years. Secondly, we care about ending the wars. I bet you're pretty interested in that. War is not No, maybe.
No. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Let's end the wars.
Yeah. So Kamala Harris has demonstrated and surrounded herself with people that are aggressively in favor of the Russian-Ukrainian war, and the same people that designed the failed wars of Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, and Libya. For example, Liz Cheney, Dick Cheney, Leon Panetta, John Bolton. Donald Trump is the only president of an unbroken chain of 32 years to start no new wars and actually bring peace to the Middle East. We did not have any new wars under Donald Trump. And finally, I mentioned this briefly, the border. I believe that everyone in this audience should be given preference above somebody who illegally comes into our country that was not welcome or invited. When Trump was president, we had the most secure border in history. Under Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, we've had 10 million people, and they get taxpayer-funded benefits. They get luxury hotel rooms. They get flights into the interior of the country. And so on those three issues, home ownership, the border, and war, Donald Trump doesn't just say he did. And I would just ask you, you don't have to answer right now, because I know it's hard to get in front of an audience of people like this. Can you show me that anything Kamala has done that shows she's better at Trump than what Trump did on those three things?
No.
That's
Very
okay.
honest
I
answer.
appreciate that. I want to encourage you to do your research because it is very it's very tempting to fall for propaganda that you just see on TV. I bet a lot of people here in the audience can give you something to think about and something to consider, because Kamala Harris, she does not care for you. She cares about her own political career. Trump is different. Last thing I'll say is this. The guy's been shot multiple times, facing 700 years in prison. They took all of his money from him, his business empire, and he keeps on fighting. There's something about him where he cares deeply about the well-being of your life and your livelihood to put our country first. So, Rob, do you want to add something to that?
I just want to say something that's really important. What's happened under this administration, the Biden-Harris administration, and this affects all of you. They've secretly, not so secretly, put in the selective service back in, and I do not want any of you fighting on foreign soil, any of you fighting on any wars. Any of you. I don't want it. And as far as democracy, they say they're saving democracy. Well, let me just go over this, because Bernie Sanders technically had won in 2016 the Democratic nomination for president, but they didn't give it to him. They used these super delegates to dump him and put in who they wanted undemocratically in the primary in 2016. In 2020, again, Biden lost the first two primaries, and they just made everybody else drop out. And so you had no choice. If you were a Democratic voter in 2020, you had to vote for Biden. The same thing again this year. 14 million people voted for Biden in the Democratic primary, and none of those votes count because they just decided to take him out because they thought they could lose, and they just anointed Kamala Harris with 0 votes. That is not
0
democracy.
votes.
That is tyranny,
That's
and it gives you a little taste of what they intend to do if they remain in power. So I wish you the best. Think about this, and I'm going to give you a hat just in case you want to wear it.
And Miles, let me just ask, what we talked about, those three things, did you hear that previously before in a fair setting?
No, I did not hear it in fair setting as before, but it's good to be on one-on-one and just like have a conversation about that.
Cool. Well, Miles, I want to thank you for coming up. Please. Hey, Miles, appreciate talking. Think about what we said, and.
Okay, yes. Let's turn Arizona blue, everybody.
You see, man, that was not the right. I let you off so mercifully.
Hey, you know what though? We're gonna do what's best for you. I mean that. We're always gonna look out for every.
I was
Arizona.
trying to find common ground, man. That was.
I know that's.
Yeah, it's just all right.
That's okay. No, but it's totally okay, because the difference is between.
I mean, dude, you said turn Arizona blue. You can't answer. You couldn't say 3 words in a row. Okay, so it's like, I asked you one thing. It's ridiculous.
All right.
We'll bad faith actor, man. I try my best to find common ground. You say something like that. It's ridiculous. Next question.
Well, that last comment was totally uncalled for. I mean, I was actually beginning to warm up to what he was saying. But, I mean, that last comment was just off the track. Basically now, Kamala Trump battle. So he says he likes her character more. That's funny because I really don't see anything about this woman on TV. In fact, before this election, I won't say I even knew who Kamala Harris was. And that aside, character. Okay, I'll admit that Donald Trump isn't perfect. And based on that character thing, a lot of leftists really don't want him in power. But is the presidency going to be based on character? I think policies should be the main factor there when you're looking for a president. I mean, what does this person have to offer? What does this person bring to the table? What does this person want to do to improve the lives of we Americans? I believe that's what everyone should be looking at. And unless you're basically in support of everything the left stands for, I think you're gonna agree with Donald Trump on some of his policies. Like, for one, the gender bill law that he's gonna put in place when he's eventually president, because he won the election. So the gender bill law that he's gonna put in place, identifying as only male or female, no other law, no other gender, is gonna be recognized. I believe certain laws like this, parent right laws, your kid can't get transed behind your back, and basically staffs won't be allowed to teach gender ideology border dashed kids in schools. I believe laws like this, when they are put in place on a social level, it's gonna help the upcoming generation to actually like think clearly, because right now they are more or less indoctrinated and groomed to believe whatever the left is saying. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that particular criteria alone doesn't qualify her as a president. As Charlie said, it's fascinating that because she doesn't believe she has any character worth admiring. And when asked how she has actually done as vice president, border control policies, new wars, and all that, he did truthfully admit that she hasn't done very well. So I'm really wondering, I'm really, thinking about what could possibly have made the people who vouch for her to actually like want to go hard for her in support, because she hasn't done anything as vice president. Everything she has been put in charge of is a mess. And as Mr. Robert just pointed out, 0 Democrats voted for her. So you can see that they didn't even want her as president. I'm sure most people say, okay, it's because she's a woman, but women are allowed to run for office these days. So that shouldn't even be a talking point. But if no one in the Democrat Party actually like voted for her, she lost all the primary elections, then why should the Democrat Party still want to put this particular person in place if they don't want to use her as a PlayStation to actually bring whatever they want to put in place in America to light? So I believe everyone should be voting for someone who has his own policies, his own mind. He has the support of the people, and relatively, he has done better as a president for the 4 years he was in office than any other president. I believe this should be people's objective. What is he bringing to the table? I'm sure we'll see more of that in the next 4 years when he's eventually elected fully. Anyway, guys, leave your comments on this in the comment section, and please remember to leave a thumbs up at the end of this video. If you just joined the channel for the first time, please remember to subscribe and click the bell button to know when we have dropped a new video on this channel. Thank you so much for watching, and stay safe.